Welcome, stampers, to the September the 10th Stamp and Go event. We meet here every Tuesday or every second and fourth Tuesday of the month for a Stamp and Go. And tonight we are going to be using the Changing Leaves. It's an online exclusive product and it is gorgeous. I'll show that to you shortly. If you enjoy these cards that we're making, you can get a set of 2 of each of them, the supplies to make them. That includes the cardstock and the die cuts and the embellishments. If you place a $35 order using the host code below, you can get that for free. If you place an order for $50 using that code, you get that kit plus a set of embellishments. Now, you don't need those embellishments to complete the cards that we're doing tonight. You'll get those in your free kit. If you just want the directions and the measurements, that is free, and that is listed below in the general section, the description section. Okay, let us begin. Let me get this moved to my hand so you can see what's going on. This is the Changing Leaves set that we're going to be using tonight. And it comes with the bundle, obviously. These are the stamps. These are dies. Now, this is one big die that cuts out all 3 at the same time. And it does have some separate dies included in there. And then this is the folder that comes with it. So it's a hybrid, right? And this is a lovely folder that gives you that gorgeous background. You almost don't need anything else to make a beautiful card. All righty, let us begin. Let's move this out of the way. Here is card number 1. And I love doing fall cards because I love the fall colors. So I wanted to make sure we got one of these in there that had as many of those colors jammed in there as we could get. So this is the card we're going to start with right now. So let's lay that out of the way. We're going to start with our maple leaf. I couldn't think of the name of that leaf. I'm not good with plants and leaves. So we're going to use 3 of these maple die cuts per card. And I'm going to show you how to color them to get all this nice blending of color in there. It's very easy. So we're going to use this. We're going to start with the Memento Ink because we are going to be using blends shortly. So let's ink that up. Make sure we get that inked well. It's looking pretty good. Now we're going to hover over the die cut. I'm going to try getting that stem in there, but quite frankly, we don't have to worry about the stem because for the most part, that stem's going to be hidden anyway. So we're going to do 3 per card, but I already did a couple of them so that you didn't have to sit there and watch me do all that coloring. So let me show you how to do the coloring. One of them, we're going to be using the dark pumpkin and the dark daffodil blends. So we're going to start out with the dark pumpkin. I'm going to use the bigger leaves up here for the 3 demos so you can see that. So we're going to start, we're just going to lay down a line of color for the dark pumpkin. Grab the dark daffodil and blend that over to the other side, just like this. You want to kind of work with this while it's still wet. You can see how that color blends nicely. And you would do that all the way around for the pumpkin and the dark daffodil. So the next color combo that we're going to do is the Cajun and pumpkin. So let's start with the Cajun first for this demo. So we're going to go around the edge again, just like we did before. And then we're going to grab the pumpkin and blend that and try to work with it while it's still wet. That makes it easier to blend that line. Okay, there we go. Nice. Now let me get my tip back on there. And the third color combo is the dark cherry cobbler with the Cajun. Okay, So we're going to start with the cherry. We're going to come around and do that blending. Grab your Cajun while it's still wet, and we're going to blend that. So you're starting up in the cherry and blending down. And of course, you would do that all the way around. So let me repeat that. The first color combo that we're doing is pumpkin and dark daffodil, both of them dark. The second combo is Cajun and pumpkin, both of those dark. And the third color combo is cherry cobbler and Cajun, both of those dark, okay? So when you finish, you will end up with 3 per card that look like this. So you've got your daffodil and pumpkin, your pumpkin and Cajun, and your cherry with Cajun. Isn't that beautiful? Awesome. We have one more stamp to do, and that is the little vanilla label. And we're going to use the thank you. Looks just, whoops, upside down. You know, if I ink that up, you can see that a little bit better. There you go. You can see that a little bit better. So we're going to come right here in the middle, rock it slightly, so you get all the top and the bottom of those letters. And we are good. So let's put this over to the side for the moment. Lay our blends out of our way. And I think we've got all of our components ready to go. Oh, you know what? I did forget to tell you. So I am a Wink fanatic, just so you know. So every time I get a chance, I wink everything that I possibly can. So when you go over your colors that you've blended here, you're going to get a nice little sparkle. It's not fabulous. It's not like in your face, but it's a real nice subtle sparkle. And also blending with your wink also gets you a little bit more blending of your colors together. All right, so I can't believe I almost forgot your wink. All right, let's move these up out of the way. We're going to grab our card base, which is vanilla. It's opening on the right-hand side. Okay. We have our next layer, which is a cane weave. So we're going to add a little bit of glue to the back of that. And flip that to the front side, center that on your card base. You have just a little bit of your card base showing all the way around. So just a tiny bit of that. All right, now we're ready to start assembling. So we're going to start with the dark one, the cherry and the Cajun. And I'm going to take a dimensional up at the top. So this will be the top of your leaf. Take off the topper of that, and we're going to angle that going up towards the left side with the stem. You can see how we don't really need to worry about the stem. We're going to be covering those up. Awesome. Now we're going to come in. The next one is going to be the Cajun and pumpkin. Going to put a dimensional at the top of that one. This one's going to angle from the right left down to, or the right top down to the lower left. So about right there. And then the next one, the last one, pop your dimensional in there. And that's going a little bit more straight up and down and a little bit over, so we can definitely see this pretty leaf there. Awesome. Now we are going to pop on the thank you. This is not popped up, by the way. This is just glued on. We're going to glue that about 1/4 inch over from the right side and up about 1 1/4 inches from the bottom of the card there. Now we have some beautiful glittery stuff and shiny stuff to pop on. So for each card, you have 2 of these gold tri-leaves, and you have 3 of these glimmer sprigs. We'll call those sprigs. Now this is this is the peach glimmer from the 24-26 in color glimmer paper. All this information is in that is in your PDF that you can get for free. All right, I'm putting glue dots down at the bottom on the stem down there and sliding that right under our first leaf. We're grabbing another glue dot, and that's going down here at the bottom. We're going to slip that one under here. So we're trying to lift that up a little bit and slide that right in there. Nice. One last glimmer sprig. And that is going over here. You can slide that right in the side there. Nice. Okay, we have 2 of the foil tri leaves here. Those also are going in with glue dots. So we can lift this side up and slide that. You don't want to slide in too far. You don't want to miss those gold leaves peeking out there. And we're going to do the same with the other one. And that's going to slide right down in here. So kind of position it so you see those pretty gold leaves. Nice. The last piece that we have to put on is the iridescent striped ribbon bow. We're going to use a glue dot on the back of that, and that will go right there. Press that down well, and your card is ready for sending. Didn't that turn out pretty? I love those colors. I think they're so autumn. All right, let's move on to card number 2. And that looks like this. I think that these are ash leaves, but don't quote me on that. And you can see how we did the gold embossing on top of there. Isn't that awesome? It doesn't take but a second to do, and it's so pretty. You need 2 of these per card. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so here is your die cut. And this is the leaf stamp that we're going to use. I know it looks pink because I've used it for other colors. So I'm going to ink this stamp up with Versamark, which is your clear embossing ink. Just make sure that you get it covered really well. All right. Let's pop this off here. I'm going to turn this over and ink this up. Now, do not worry too much about the stem again, because we are going to be lopping those stems off. You're not even going to need those. Press well. This is a big one. And then we're going to take that off. We're going to bring in a catch card. If you have one of those embossing kits, you will have a tray that you can use. All right, we're going to lay this on a catch card. We're going to sprinkle with our embossing powder. So you don't have to worry about being conservative, because we are going to dump all that off. Like that. Very good. Looking good. If you get a chance, flip it to the back side like that, and you'll get off any excess. So let me dump this back in while we're getting finished up here so that it doesn't get all over everything. Make sure we have the lid on here before we start blowing the heat gun around. Now, if you have a set of tweezers, this is a good time to grab those. And the best place to grab it is on the stem, because we're going to cut the stems off. All right, grab your glue or your heat gun, not your glue gun. All right, let's just hold this down here. I'm trying to put it so you can see that well. Good, good, good. All right, you just move it. You don't have to wiggle it. That doesn't really help much. So just follow the gold as it turns shiny gold. When it turns shiny gold, it is done. So then you can move on to the next leaf. Last leaf down here. Awesome. And if you did get some ink on the stem, you can go ahead and make sure that you melt that. You don't want that, you don't want to leave that powder. So the next thing you're going to do is just simply cut off the stem. We used it as a handle, and this is the second one. So you'll do 2 of these per card. So they look like this when they are done. Nice. We have one more stamp to do. And you're going to use your, it's a vanilla and it's a rounded and long label die. That will all be cut for you when you get your card kit. We're using the stamp that says a little note to brighten your day. And that goes right here in the center and rockets slightly. Awesome. Okay, pop this back on so we don't get our elbow in it. And we're going to flip this to the back side. And we're going to put a dimensional at the end. And you'll see why we're putting it at the end in a minute. And then we can lay that over to the side. So we are good there. Let's grab our card base, which is vanilla. And it opens at the right side. I'm giving it a little burnish there to make sure that it lays flat for us. The top layer on that is the distressed tile. And I love it with these leaves because it kind of gives it that vintage look, which I like. All right, we're layering this on top again of the card base, and you'll have just a tiny bit of your card base border showing all the way around. Now, we are going to position our leaves so that they look like this, so that your top leaf is headed towards the corners, okay? And I can use glue on this, or if you're in a rush, you can do glue dots. Glue dots will be immediately accessible, and that means you don't have to wait for your glue to dry. Liquid glue, you'll have to wait just a couple of seconds for that to take hold. All right, we're going to flip this one down. So we want to make sure the leaf is kind of headed in this direction down here. And then this one will come up here. Now, don't worry too much about this section because we're going to put stuff through here in a minute. Okay. Awesome. That little leaf, you know what? I'm going to put apparently I didn't put enough glue up there. So I'm going to pop a little glue dot under there so we can go ahead and get moving. All right. Now, this is why we put dimensionals at the ends, because we are going to need to access this area right through here when we put our sprigs on. So we're going to center that right through there. And then we're going to grab our sprigs. Now for each card, you'll have 2 of the peach glimmer and 2 of the olive glimmer. All the order information, if you want more of these, is on your PDF. All right. Look down here, we're going to grab a glue dot. And we're going to place it at the bottom of the peach sprig. And that one's going right up here. So you can see I lifted that label up just a little bit to slide that under. That's why we didn't want our dimensionals to be there in the center. I put another glue dot on the olive, and that one is going to slide right through here. Okay, now we're going to work on the bottom half. The glue dot goes at the base of your peach sprig. And that one is going to fly out here towards the lower right. And our olive for this side is going to come right through here. There we go. There we go. Just press down so we get those glue dots to take hold. All right. The last thing we have to do would be our iridescent foil gems. You've got 1 large and 2 small for each of your cards. And they're nice, but they're going to kind of blend into the background. So we're going to make these Cajun. So I'm using my dark Cajun Craze blend. And you know what? I want to use the nib end. I don't want to mess up my tip on my brush end. So just be gentle with it and go all over this surface with your Cajun, your dark. Use your dark because that'll get your color on there quicker. And just color on that. And then I usually come back, give it a second coat after that first one dries. And because we're using blends, which are alcohol markers, that dries pretty quickly. Then we're going to put the large one up here, right next to our leaf right there. Put number 2 down here. And the second one right there. And your card is now ready for sending. Isn't that pretty? That gold embossing is just absolutely stunning. All righty. Let us move on to our easy card for today. And that is this one. Now, I did not use the folder that was in this bundle for the background here because I really liked this. It's called Leaf Fall. It's been carried over for us from last fall, actually. And so that's what we are going to be using for our top layer here. So let's start with our top layer. Excuse me. I'm going to use our blending brush, and we're going to use our pumpkin pie ink. And you can see from our card here, we're leaving the top left and the lower right unshaded. So we're going to kind of avoid that area, but we're going to hit the area that has our embossing from the folder. If you go in both directions, so circular, clockwise, and counterclockwise, you'll hit all those edges much more easily of the embossed area. If you roll your embossing brush or your blending brush, you'll get a lot more ink on your brush than if you just go straight down. So I always kind of roll that to get my as much as I can of ink on there. And that means I have less inkings to do and more fun to do. All right, I'm just checking my edges there of my embossed part to make sure that I have most of it inked up so that it pumps right out at you. Now, having done that, I like the way that looks, so I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. While I have this out, I'm going to use my Wink of Stella, and not all of the raised images, but the biggest ones. I'm going to go over with Wink of Stella. Now, I know this is very difficult to see on the camera there, but as I do it, you can see that the color is popping out a little bit more on those embossed pieces. It just helps not only to give it that little bit of sparkle, but it also helps bring out some of the image and the ink color. All right, I think that's about it. You know what? I think I see one more there that I like. Awesome. All right, we're going to call that done. Now we're going to put our verse on next, and I'm using the thank you that we used on our first card and Memento Ink. Looks like this. So we're going to come down here in the corner and rock it to make sure we get all of those letters on there. All right. Now, let's grab our card base, which this one opens out the bottom. I'm going to give that a little bit of a burnish. The next layer is the peach pie, one of our new in colors. And I'm going to put that right on the card base. You have about 1/8 of an inch of your card base showing all the way around. Looks like I've got black ink on something because I see I've imprinted it there. So it's over far enough, thank heavens, that we don't have to worry about it. So this is going to cover it. We're ready now to put on the embossed piece. Putting a little bit of glue on the back of that and center that over the peach pie. There we go. Nice. Now you also have about 1/8 of an inch of that showing all the way around. And good, I didn't manage to get that ink on the top layer, which is important. All right, we've got a little bit more of embellishment to do. we have the gold foil double leaf here. It's an open leaf, so you can see through to the layer underneath, which is one of the reasons I chose that, so you can see our pretty base underneath. I'm going to take a glue dot at the end here, and we're going to center that so we don't hit the thank you, but the end comes about right there. Then we did the peach tri-leaf, so we used the peach glimmer for this. We're going to also put a glue dot down here, and that's going to swing down just a little bit. So the little leaf is up here, the middle leaf here, and then the biggest one is off of the gold there. And the last piece that we're going to put here is a small iridescent striped ribbon. Now, this ribbon is absolutely awesome because it tends to pick up the colors that surround it. So I put a glue dot back there on the back and put that up there on the stems. Now we have some more of the iridescent foil gems. And of course, if we put them on there like this, they're just going to kind of blend into the background. So this time we're going to use our dark pumpkin blend to color. So we're going to color 1 large and 2 small for each of our cards. And I'm going to go over those again to deepen that color just a little bit. Gives that nice pumpkin-y color. And there we go. So I'm using the nib end again so I don't mess up my brush end. Okay, we're going to pop the large one down here in the vanilla area. And we're going to put the other 2 over here in the embossed area, about right there. Awesome. All right, that is your easy card for today. Always like to do an easy one at the end in case you get tired. You don't have to think a lot in the end. So I want to thank you for coming today. I hope you enjoyed these cards. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe if you have not already done so. We meet here, as I mentioned before, every second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. We concentrate on one bundle or a stamp set, and you can get it free. You can get a set of 2 of each of the card supplies for each of the cards we made tonight for free if you put in an order for $35 using that host code that's in the description below. You need to do that by 9/16. So keep that date in mind. It might be a good idea just to do it now so we don't forget. If you place an order for $50, you'll get that free card kit and also a set of embellishments. So don't forget to get your order in by 9/16. The next event will be on September the 24th at 7 o'clock. So I hope that you will come. If you enjoyed the cards today, we do live Zoom classes every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can find that schedule on my blog, sandylovesstamping.com. That is also in the description section below. And go to the events section and you'll see the schedule there. If you need any information, just contact me. Thank you again for coming. And I'm going to place these all of these back so you can see all of them at one time. Thank you again for coming.